Hey everybody, welcome to the MMA Heat podcast. I'm Karyn Bryant.
And I'm Pete Cummins.
Today we will talk about the Bellator Dynamite 1.
The most anticipated night in mixed martial arts history. We are rewriting the rules of mixed martial arts.
Until the next big show. We'll talk about a little bit about Nick Diaz, the public love for Mr. Diaz. Look ahead to UFC Japan. What do we have going on in High Five?
Karyn, it's the most anticipated round of podcast mixed martial arts history. Get ready for the big announcement. What are we doing now? Well, Karyn, it's no secret that we're looking to drum up a little money for our podcast here. Yes. So I've been considering what type of advertising that we could perhaps lure in.
All right, cool.
Got a couple tricks up my sleeveless.
I'm wearing the sleeveless. Actually, I'm wearing this today in honor of Nick Diaz. It says all natural. It's made by our friends at Bow and Arrow. If you guys want one of these, it's not a Nick Diaz shirt. It's not for Nick Diaz. I just thought I had this shirt and I was like, a lot of places I would wear this, it'd be very inappropriate. But today here, I thought it's fine. Did you have a good weekend?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I went to the beach.
Me too. We did too. Yesterday we went to the beach.
You realize that there's somebody out in like a really shitty part of the world right now. It's just going, screw you.
Yeah,
Screw you.
It was hot too. I was sweating in my bikini at the beach yesterday. Woo! Fall's coming. Also had my first tennis match of the season. My partner and I won 6-3, 6-3, and our whole team won. So we're off to a good start.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like it.
It was hot though. Like seriously, not to bail on to do that again, but it was incredibly hot. I got very lightheaded out there a little bit. It was hot.
Hot. I'm guessing it was hot.
It was hot. All right, let's get into this. Round one of the most anticipated show in mixed martial arts history. The Bellator Dynamite show went down on Saturday night, and it had Bellator MMA and Glory Kickboxing on the same card. We had a title fight with McGeary defending against Tito Ortiz. We had a 4-man light heavyweight tournament, and then we also had, Glory Kickboxing, and there was a vacancy in the light heavyweight division. So there was a lot going on. Pete, overview, general takeaway. What are your thoughts?
It was the most overhyped night in mixed martial arts history. Just the pageantry of Bellator. I try to get into it, and I have a tough time getting into it. Listen, it was interesting. It was
okay, but so you're
and after 2 weeks of being starved for fights, their timing was good.
It was, but you never were into Pride. So the whole thing was, that they were kind of bringing back this Pride spirit of the big introductions and all this stuff. So for that, I feel like that was kind of fun. Like I like how they intro everybody at the beginning and let you know who's coming out to fight later on and stuff like that. Like I enjoy that. I thought on the whole, I thought it was cool. I don't know. It's kind of hard sometimes if you're in the MMA headspace to all of a sudden switch to kickboxing, which I enjoy. But sometimes
but don't
maybe
the gloves look humorously huge?
Look huge. But right on for Gil Melendez's wife Karyn, that was awesome for her to win. Paul Daly looked good in that. There were times where I was just sort of like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Now we're switching to this a little bit. Okay. But on the whole, I enjoyed it. The title fight with Tito and Liam. Now, Liam, defeated Emmanuel Newton to win the title. And it was a close fight when he won. And so this was his first defense, his first real test here. And so he's going up against, UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz, a total legend here. We have some of the highlights. And Tito was putting it on him at first. Tito was looking solid, but Liam, kind of durable, kind of crafty, hung in there, sinks in this inverted triangle and wins. And Tito, you see immediately after quite the expletive that he drops because, Tito doesn't get subbed. You know what I mean? This is a legendary guy who you got to go way back to see anything from him in terms of submit. Some people were saying it's the first one, but you look at some people, there's a guy Metzger went way back. At any rate, it doesn't happen a lot to Tito, who was looking really good. What did you think of that fight?
First of all, I thought Liam looked really calm on the ground. I mean, he was getting Tito's like concrete cement head like right in there, which has to be like one of the worst things. and he, and he looked really calm, and he's got those legs which are like 18 feet long or something, and it was really impressive.
Well, here's the thing. Tito said afterwards, I'm still trying to lick my wounds a bit. He fought the best that I can give. I had a great camp. Everything went perfect. I went in there and fought my ass off. The guy is slick, dude. That reverse triangle, we defended that over and over. We defended triangles in all the positions. I got away from the arm lock. I was going to let him break my arm before anything. I was not going to tap. But, it comes a time where what are you going to do?
I mean, and that's the thing, too, is like, Liam put him in 3 separate holds. He got out of 2, but he just calmly, like,
kept going.
He seemed like the only one who realized that he wasn't in trouble at all.
Well, here's what and Tito also said, because it seemed like he was almost going to retire, but he didn't. So he says, he's going to make a retirement decision later. He's going to chill for a bit, spend some time with his family. But McGeary, so here's why he's so chill. So he's got a brown belt in jiu-jitsu from John Danaher, who is George St. Pierre's former coach, and who, among the BJJ world, everybody just knows that this guy's legendary. He's kind of weird, but he's kind of brilliant. He's one of those like genius guys. So Liam, just didn't panic, and he said, I knew he was going to shoot for a takedown. I knew he was going to be strong. He's got that old man strength. He had a good grip on my arm. I was trying not to panic about it. I could see his fist coming toward my face. I knew I was going to get my arm out. It was just a matter of time. I was waiting for the punches to come in. I had my knee blocking it. That's the handy thing about being so long, is I can block a lot of stuff. I can move around a little bit. I can get out of a lot of danger. So Liam looked great. I thought, he's a good dude.
I am looking forward to him and Phil Davis.
Phil Davis is going to be a good fight.
Phil Davis, great wrestler.
Well, we'll get to him in round 2. Yeah. No, it's going to be good. And so he said, that he just knew what to expect with Tito and knew it was a matter of time, that ground and pound was going to get there, but he would find his opportunity. So good win. It's funny about the lankiness here between rounds, and I think I've told this before. I first met Liam when he was playing the role of John Jones for DC before their fight. Right. And so we were in Phoenix, we were working the UFC on Fox show, and I got in the elevator with Liam, and I hadn't recognized him, but as a fighter, but we were right downtown near where the Sun's playing everything. So this guy gets in with the gym bag, and he's that tall. Right. It's like, we got a ball player in here, cool, whatever. And then later on, I go to my production meeting, and I was like, zoinks. That's not a ball player. And then I realized, duh. And then, so that's, how we met. He's, of course, been here on this podcast before. People could go look it up. Lovely gentleman. Just a lovely guy.
6'6", right?
Massive, tall, super tall, super lanky, super cool.
So what do you think about the weird announcer lady?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. See, again, since you're a newer fan, you don't know you're a newer fan and you don't know about the famous Lady Hart. Here's the thing, she's the old Pride announcer, and that was the whole thing, is that she's bringing that back. Like I said, I actually like that they brought the Pride feel back. If I'm just being specific, do I enjoy her announcing? Not so much. Right. But I appreciate it as part of the package of what Pride was.
All right.
That's the thing.
That's fair enough, because Pride was before my time.
Yes. But
I just heard a weird lady.
But I don't specifically actually enjoy the introductions.
Right.
Yeah. So, at any rate, as you mentioned here in round 1, we're in round 2. Now, Phil Davis, Mr. Wonderful Davis, competed in the 4-man light heavyweight tournament, and well, he won. So good for Phil. In the first fight of his, he defeated the former champ Emmanuel Newton. He submitted him. That was very nice. Second fight, he came out and knocked out Francis Carmont. Now, Francis Carmont, you may be saying,
why not King Mo?
I don't see him pictured in the initial 4-man tournament. Well, here's what happened. King Mo Lawal defeated Linton Vassell in the first for that bracket. It went to decision. I wasn't that impressed. Sorry. I thought King Mo's striking was kind of a little sloppy. I didn't.
And he didn't press him at all, especially in the first round. He had a couple he
let Linton get off a few times.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, because I was thinking Vassell started out really kind of slowly, and I was thinking, this guy's going to get whooped, because He just
Right.
kind of a slow start there, but yet he hung in. And yeah, I thought Mo should have finished him or whatever. So I wasn't that impressed. Here we have some highlights here. I don't know. Mo had landed. I'm not trying to bust on the guy completely. He landed some good shots, but there were some things that I just felt were a little sloppy, like just a little bit wild.
Well, here's another thing. Were they fighting on ice?
I mean,
how many guys were slipping around that night?
I know. It was very slippery. So listen, Mo had some good work. I'm not saying he didn't, but as I'm watching this fight, I'm thinking Phil's going to beat him, because I know Phil trains down at Alliance with our boy Dominic Cruz. Like, they're all about footwork and they're more technical, So Mo has a lot of power, but I thought technically Phil, could do better. So. But Mo should advance to the second part of the tournament, and then he's not cleared medically. And so then Vasyl was supposed to get the next turn. Well, he is not cleared medically either. So in comes Karyn, who had an alternate bout earlier in the night. So he comes in, like, after taking 5 hours off, resting in the back, comes in, gets KTFO'd by Phil. Boom goes Dynamite. Phil gets the tournament win.
Now so the announcers were talking about how Phil only had 2.5 hours of rest, so that was going to help him more than having 5. I didn't get that.
Well, because he stayed warmer, like if you fought 5 hours, you could, I don't know, it's weird because some guys, obviously do double sessions and,
Right.
But I guess the maybe it's about lactic acid, maybe it's about something, the fatigue level, that was so long ago that you got cold and rested and more tired, and now you have to come back and warm up more.
I guess I just figured that 2.5 hours is still a long enough time that all that lactic acid stuff, you'd still be
I don't know. It's Mr. Wonderful, though. He obviously he had to.
Yeah, what's with that nickname?
Oh, anyway, it's a great nickname.
I wish it was me. I mean, did he give it to himself?
No, I forget. I have a lot of interviews with Phil. I have to look back and see if that's something that he had all the way back at Penn State Wrestling. I'm not sure.
I mean, can I try to adopt something like that?
I don't know that you can pull
Captain Fantastic?
No. But good for Phil. So Phil will face next to Liam McGeary. Phil will fight for the title. So what he said.
That's going to be that fight I'm looking forward to.
That's going to be a great fight. And Tito actually said to Liam, listen, if you can just get your wrestling up to par, or not up to par, but you know what I mean, if you can improve your wrestling, you're going to be amazing, because obviously Phil's wrestling is ridiculous.
Right.
Phil manhandled Glover Teixeira. His wrestling is fantastic. So, but hey, it'd be crazy, Phil left the UFC and I think had real, big desires, obviously, to go over there and take a title. He's got a chance to do it, so good for Phil. He's a good dude. But do you like the one man, one night? Do you like that?
No.
No, not so much?
No.
Because of what?
First of all, the first fight's only 2 rounds, so there's a bizarre scoring thing, and I want these guys to leave it out there. I don't want them to be thinking about conserving for another fight. And also, I think we just got shown what happened. I mean, they had to go to the third alternate. I mean, I was that close from getting called up.
Good thing you weren't quite on the weight. As we close out the round here, Bettina, the tournament idea, it's kind of fun. There was a fun Glory tournament that we went to in LA one time, which was pretty intense.
Right.
And these guys, Joe Schilling was in it, Artem, what the heck was, I feel bad, I forget his last name. Anyway, it was pretty intense, and that was really kind of cool. I don't know that this was a huge success in terms of having them go, because everything got kind of mixed up at the end. But on the whole, I enjoyed the show. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not mad at it. I didn't wake up this morning and look at my TV and go, yeah, great, you again.
Biatch.
No, it's just...
You're a snob. You're a UFC nut rider.
I'm a UFC nut rider? Thank you, Karyn.
Or nut hugger.
Karyn Bryant. She's really taking the show up to a new level.
Says the host of UFC Tonight. Listen, obviously, I think UFC has better fighters, too, but I don't think that was a bad night. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a UFC ball crazy.
Although here's the thing, some people, Josh Thompson went over there, had a nice victory as well. Happy birthday to you today, Josh. And actually, some of the Bellator fighters are a little peeved. Will Brooks, one of their champs, is like, yeah, it's great. Yeah, you guys get former UFC guys and roll out the red carpet, and those of us who've been putting in work over here don't get treated as well. That is something
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So I feel like, to say the UFC has better fighters, perhaps true, but treat what you have well, so hopefully the Bellator guys will get the treatment they deserve.
Well, and basically Bellator pretty much announces that the UFC has better fighters, so whenever we get a UFC fighter...
It's a blue chip prospect that kept calling Phil and everything like that.
Well, and also, Liam McGeary talked the third least after his victory.
Yeah.
Tito.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Phil, and I think Liam got to say 2 or 3 words. And it's like, so I agree with that. I agree with that.
Title again.
Josh Thompson, classy act.
Yeah, helping revive the guy. Josh is a good dude.
Lifting up his legs.
Yeah,
and Mike Branzoulis, got to get rid of the Halloween costume. The cheap plastic helmet. I think my kids went on that. Gotta get rid of the Halloween stuff. Plus, he's got a tattoo. He's got a Bellator tattoo on his back. It's gonna make it.
He's a lifer.
I guess you don't have any designs to ever go up to the UFC or anywhere else. I mean, what do you?
He's a lifer.
Yeah, I guess so.
Big news that night, though. The man, the myth, the legend, Fedor.
The most important announcement in mixed martial arts
Fedor is going to fight on New Year's Eve. They did not say who he's going to fight. So the former owner of Pride came out, Mr. Sakikuraba, and he comes out and he makes this announcement that they've in fact signed Fedor. Fedor's going to fight on New Year's Eve in a new organization that they're creating, but it'll actually be like a Bellator show here in America, because the naming of this whole thing is a little bit strange.
Right.
But from what I understand, Bellator gets to put their name on it. It will air on Spike, but it will be in conjunction with this new organization that the former owner of Pride is starting, and they're going to have Fedor. And gotta be honest, hard not to like Fedor. I mean, come on. UFC was trying to sign Fedor. And then I read something, I don't know if it was Brent Okamoto or somebody had tweeted that they actually asked him, Scott Coker, and Scott's like, no, we can't afford Fedor either. Sakikuraba can afford Fedor. Right. It's like, nobody can afford Fedor or whatever. But I mean, so again, this is you didn't get to see him, but Fedor was a badass.
Right.
I mean, he was 31-1, but before he lost to Fabricio Verdum, and we were there that night, it was ridiculous. And then he lost to Bigfoot and Hendo. The Hendo one was so he retired at 31-4, but Fedor's the man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was he's so stoic, and to have Fedor back is kind of fun.
How long has it been since he's fought?
He last fought in 2013. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's right. No. I thought I wrote it down. I thought it was a couple years ago. I want to say 12 or 13. It's been a couple years ago.
Was I just the worst co-host ever?
Yeah, because I thought I wrote it down. No, I'm trying to remember, because he hadn't lost.
Ken, how far are we from the sun?
His first loss came in 2010, and then he lost a couple. So it was okay. Because I'm confused with my Josh Barnett hadn't fought since 2013. I think Fedor stopped in 2012. Pedro Rizzo was the last person he fought.
June 2012.
Yeah, June 2012. He fought Pedro Rizzo and beat him, and then left. Also, public rally for Nick Diaz got suspended for 5 years for weed. Dude. So the whole hashtag Free Nick Diaz is out there. A lot of people publicly supporting, Nick. A lot of these other fighters getting out there saying, that's ridiculous. And even people who aren't necessarily Diaz fans are like, listen, the Nevada State, Athletic Commission, this was a personal vendetta. People were using steroids and testing positive, this, that. The dude did weed. Granted, it's his third time, but 5 years.
Well, here's the thing, too. It's 5 years and $165,000 fine. It's who's gonna fucking pay a fine if you've been, he's been thrown out from age 32 to 37, effectively ending his career, and then you expect the guy to pay a fine too? It's
the fine, is part of that fight night purse.
To be reinstated when he's, when he's an old man?
So it's interesting. So here, a lot of people obviously supporting him, and his good boy, a good buddy, Jake Shields, put this tweet out a little while ago. So 702-486-2575 is the number for NSAC. Give them a call and respectfully let them know what a shame the Diaz trial was. Once again, the number for the Nevada State Athletic Commission, 702-486-2575. Free Nick Diaz.
And remember, when you call, the person answering the phone is necessarily the exact person who made this decision. So don't even ask. Just as soon as you hear the person, just start laying into that person. Now, does this mean he can't fight in Nevada?
Yeah, but a lot of other places follow the Nevada lead. Okay. So they're not going to sanction him, too.
And this is the whole thing with Nevada and pot, too. Nevada is very strict on pot because they need a boogeyman so they can gamble and go to hookers.
Right.
And so the state of Nevada has made marijuana. They're like, excuse me, I'm going to keep playing poker while banging Stacy, the $1,000 call girl. It's bullshit. The whole in the interview that we had with Uriah Faber, we asked them, like, what do you think about guys who smoke pot? Do you think that gives them an unfair advantage?
Yeah.
And they were like, no. If anything, we don't think it's very good for them. So go on ahead. It's like other fighters don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, man. The federal government's it's like chill now.
Yeah.
Chill.
It's a little out of hand. And like I said, it's nice to see the support for Nick. From other fighters who maybe at other times would be at odds with him, but it's nice to see that a lot of people can at least rally and say, yes, you have gotten in trouble before, and but even still, this is a bit draconian. This is a bit much.
Roger Goodall was like, really? Wow, that's those balls are even bigger and more misguided than my own.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, so speaking of, I don't even want to say. I was going to say, speaking of big balls, I don't know. I just in transitioning. Well, there was a heavyweight fight.
Everyone's hoping that no. Please mention me.
Ew.
Please be that the segue to me.
Ew. Big boys is really what I was thinking in my head.
It ain't a show till we talk about scrotum.
The main card, the main event of the UFC Japan fight, which is coming up this weekend, Josh Barnett versus Roy Nelson. Josh currently ranked number 8, Big Country ranked number 11. In the co-main event, our buddy Gegard Mousasi taking on Uriah Hall. Just so you guys know, people, Pete, I'm gonna toot my own horn here for a second. People love my Gegard interviews. They do, because you know why? We've known Gegard, we met Gegard like 2006, 2007 or whatever, known this guy a long time. He's great. He's like a lovely guy. And so I just can be like, oh really? Oh really? You know what I mean? It's like a brother,
please stop that.
Sorry. Human resources.
In fact, Gegard asked me to talk to you about that and said, leave him the.
But he's like I don't know what it is, but it's like I just can pick on him, and it's funny, and it's like we have a good rapport. So anyway, he's fighting in the co-main event. He was supposed to fight Rowan Carneiro. That he fell out due to injury, so he's fighting Uriah Hall. So we talk about in this interview the change in opponent. Uriah's not ranked, and what does that mean for Gegard? But he's like, look, there's a major logjam at the top of the division. You got Weidman, Rockhold, and Jacare is fighting Romero. Then there's Lyoto, who Gegard already fought. Then there's Vitor, who he wanted to fight, but Vitor's facing Hendo. He's like, dude, what am I gonna do? I gotta fight. So he would love to fight again early next year, but he's got him for the title, and he's got a great plan. And those, again, who don't know Gegard, they're like, oh, who's this guy? He thinks he could do something. Look him up. He's got 36 victories or something like that. The guy's been around for a long time, and he's very good, very humble. But he was like, I feel bad for Uriah Hall, because he's like, I had an amazing camp. He's like, I'm in amazing shape. He's like, I feel bad.
I did like his confidence was great.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
But listen, Uriah Hall might not be in the top 15, but depending on what Uriah Hall shows up, he's got the talent to be in the top 15.
Very talented guy. Gegard's never been finished, though, and also let's remember. But I mean, yes, Uriah's great. Uriah's great. But also, Gegard will definitely have like a home field advantage. He fought a lot in Japan before, so he's going over there like Uriah will feel the like, hey, wow, I'm in somewhere different. Like, whereas I feel like Gegard is going to have that home court advantage. But should be a very good fight. I'll be working those fights on Fox Sports 1 with Bisping and Stan. But in the main event, Josh hasn't fought since he lost to Travis Brown at the end of 2013. He was doing some movie roles, taking some time off, and Roy Nelson is only 1-3 in his last 4 fights. He lost to DC. Mark Hunt and Overeem. He beat Big Nog. So, Roy's always got that power. He's got that great knockout power. But lately, he hasn't been doing as well. And Josh, Josh is such a big, strong, powerful man, too. Great wrestling, amazing wrestling. Roy has better jits than people expect. But, I'm going Barnett. But I don't,
What round? Because it's not lasting.
No, maybe second.
Second?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be first round.
First, really? Roy's pretty durable.
I think that's a good point.
They both can take it. Right. I mean, they both can take it. The thing about Roy's jits, though, Josh has also been competing. He did the Metamoris show and stuff. Like, it's not like Josh is all around good. You know what I mean? He's quite a good former champ. I mean, he's very talented. I'll be curious to see how the layoff has served him. And I know he's been working hard, and he always does. But it'll be a fun fight.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be like 2 big, tough guys in a bar going out back.
Is that right?
Now, listen, I ragged on Bellator. And I feel like you
can already feel the negative comments.
I can feel the negative comments.
Preemptively.
Well, and there is one thing that I liked.
You're waffling.
That I liked. Their scoring. They were the judges were instructed to use 10-8 rounds if there was a significant. And I'm a firm believer in that the 10-8 scoring system. Like, it's got to be. It can't be as rare as it is. Okay. Like, you gotta. So that's my plus, Scott Coker.
Wow.
I like what you've done with the scoring. There we go.
It's time for high five, Pete. Go for it.
All righty.
After sucking up, now what are you gonna do?
So, Karyn, it's no lie that we've been trying to find sponsorship for this show, and apparently no one thinks that I'm particularly good at helping sell products, or what they call move merchandise off the shelves. Even dynamic fasteners.
Really?
Yes.
The dynamic.
Now, do you know what dynamic fasteners are?
It's like screws and bolts and things, right? Isn't it a?
They provide custom color painting of screws and rivets. Right. Because I don't know how many times you've looked and seen a rivet. You're like, that looks.
If only that had been a mustard yellow. That would have been so much better.
Right. So I started to really think, like, even Dynamic Fasteners doesn't think I can help move their stuff. So I thought, like, a lot of people who watch this podcast, I've been called a piece of shit, and I've been called a shithead, shit face, the shit, which I took as a compliment. So I actually went out and contacted the Vermont Compost Company.
Did you?
Well, I figured that if there's any guy who can represent shit, perhaps it's me. And so. And
you are a New Englander. You're a native New Englander, so you know.
I contacted them, and I got a letter back.
Is that the methane vapor coming off the?
I think
is that what that is?
Look at that. That's all poop right there. Oh, and so I explained what they were about, and we got back. Dear Pete, the products of the Vermont Compost Company are all blended with varying qualities of our premium manure compost, which includes cow, hen, horse, mule, and donkey manure, as well as bark, leaves, straw, hay, food, and crop residuals, spoiled feed, and manure compost. As you can see, we don't deal with assholes. Fuck off. Sincerely, Ralph Tabor, CEO, Vermont Compost Company, 1996 Main Street, Montpelier, Vermont.
Wow.
I also contacted H&S Manure Spreaders and Black Cow, spelled K-O-W, Black Cow, the mature manure. And anyway, no one.
It's poop from old cows.
Old cows, Karyn.
It may take longer to get our manure out, but.
So I was talking with your husband a couple weeks ago, and we started thinking, you know what? I'm going about this all wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for an anti-sponsor. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to call up like a Nike and be like, I'm a middle-aged white guy who can't jump, and I'm going to outfit myself in Nike every podcast unless you pay me some money.
To not wear.
So, but apparently, as I was researching this strategy,
It's not a bad strategy.
there's a precedent.
Is there?
Back in 2011, Abercrombie & Fitch offered to pay Jersey Shore's Mike the Situation Sorrentino not to wear its merchandise. It even released a statement stating a deep concern over the association between Mr. Sorrentino and the brand, and offered up a substantial payment to Mr. Sorrentino to wear
Are
an
you
alternate
serious?
brand. I swear to God. In quotes, we understand that this show is for entertainment purposes, but believe this association is contrary to the aspirational nature of our brand and may be distressing to many of our fans.
Are you serious? These the same people, though, that basically said no fat chicks, too. Do you remember Abercrombie and Fitch got in trouble?
Yeah.
So no Guidos, no fat chicks.
Just listen. We appreciate if you could just be a wasp girl between 18 and 24 who looks like you could do an Ivory Snow commercial. So then I started thinking think about like a Kanye West.
Yeah.
Like Kanye West, he could basically come on like, I'm Kanye West and Taylor Swift's a whore and I chew Wrigley's. Wrigley's would be like, okay, please don't ever do that again. So I was also thinking about Nick Diaz. What's Nick gonna do for cash? And Nick Diaz for TurboTax. Because as you know, in 2013, Nick publicly stated that he's never paid taxes. So I think Nick should go, you know what, for the next 5 years, I'm going to wear a TurboTax t-shirt around unless you pay me $100,000 a year. So,
see, but I actually think he'd be a good spokesman because F you, government, I don't want to give you this anyway. But TurboTax, we know you want to say F you too. I'm saying that actually may work better than you think.
So I started thinking. Now, some of you may or may not know, I went to Harvard.
Yeah.
And
safety.
yeah. Well, so it's pretty obvious that Harvard made a mistake.
I'm just gonna say.
Bring me in. Pretty obvious that sometime back in spring of 1995, there was a Harvard admissions officer go, yeah, sure.
Whatever. No, what it was he knocked on the door and they said, come in. Oh, Pete Cummins gets the nod? Okay. Get it? Just perfectly timed.
Perfectly
Knock
timed.
on the door. Come in. Oh.
All right. Got it. So I'm gonna contact Harvard and wait if you can put up my my sales pitch to them. My sales pitch to. This is
he went to ITT Tech apparently.
So a most un-Harvard baccalaureate career. Advanced degrees 0. Honor degrees 0. Books published 0. TED Talks given 0. Languages spoken 0.85. I have a slight stutter, so I can't really give myself English. Advancements in science made none. Nicknames that imply recreational drug use 1. Hi, old guy. Fortunes won 0. Fortunes lost not applicable. Giant hand warts. I do have 1. Misspelled words on this list. Actually 2.
Are there?
Baccalaureate misspelled and
is there?
What was the other one? Oh, and misspelled. So here it is, Harvard. You have to pay me.
Oh my God.
$50,000 a calendar year, or every podcast I'm going to advertise that I went to your school. That's right. That's right.
Wow.
So
look at
here
that.
we go. Right here. Product of Harvard University, folks.
Can't work the zipper.
Can't work the zipper. Has never been elected to public office. Has never taken a company public. Did not develop an app. Does have a hoodie. Okay.
Wow.
Harvard University. So listen, call me. $50,000 a year, and I will quickly tell people, I never said Harvard, I said Haverford.
Haverford.
I just have a heavy Boston accent. I went to Haverford.
Haverford.
Haverford Square. So.
Or which one up in Canada they say is the Harvard of the North? It's not Oberlin. It's not. There's a school that they call the Harvard of the North.
The Harvard of the North. Mount. Something with an M, I think.
Something like that. Look at you.
But I am willing for $50,000 a year to tell people
Come on,
I went to Haverford.
Pay attention.
Haverford College.
He won't show up at the head of the Charles.
I
he
won't
show up.
You can get rid of this stain, on your record. For nearly 30 years, I've been haunting you. You can get rid of me. $50,000 a year.
Let's make a deal. Nicely done, Pete.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
No,
it's nice. That's a new one. Did you get that at your reunion? It looks fresh.
I did get this at my reunion.
It's good.
Yes. They were not very happy that I showed up. They were like, we meant to tell you that was in April. They tried to give me the wrong date. Actually, I will say, so my reunion. There was a guy from my class who donated $150 million to the school.
Wow.
So I figured out that when you average us, we each donated $75,012.50
Look
to
at you.
Harvard. Yeah.
Look at you.
I put in a 25 spot.
Solid work. Solid work.
And you know what's so funny is they call me like every 2 weeks for cash, but but the number pops up on my phone,
right?
And it's a 617 number.
Right.
So I've not answered that number for like a year, but they still like every 2 weeks they call.
Really?
I appreciate their, I appreciate the.
I don't get the calls. I just get stuff in the mail from my school. I don't get calls. Like calls are personal. Although I guess one time somebody did call before one of the reunion, and Wade's like, somebody very rude called and asked for you to give money. But whatever, But see, I'm gonna wait till our daughter's a little older and then start gracing the wheels for that legacy entrance.
I gave $25 for my reunion.
Are you serious?
And only because a friend actually called eventually,
Wow.
And she's like, just give something because it'll raise
the percentage of the participation in the class.
But apparently they won't name anything after me.
By the way, right now you look kind of like the Unabomber. I'm just...
Who went to Harvard. Exactly. We went to Harvard, actually.
So if you had classes,
he did.
Ted, what is his last name?
Ted Kaczynski went to Harvard.
So I'm getting a real Unabomber vibe off of you right now.
In fact, I should... Is the Unabomber dead?
Wasn't he in jail or did they kill him? I don't...
Two of you could team up.
We'd have a hell of a...
Wow.
Write material for him?
Wow. You were working on your manifesto. You said right before we started rolling that you had a writing project that was due. Apparently, it's your manifesto.
My project is to talk about how...
You're creeping me out.
It's very hot in this studio, by the way.
Creeping me out.
That's right, Harvard, right here.
I love how you
Folks, if you send your children to Harvard, they too can grow up and co-host a podcast.
Wow. Well, so Pete, this week, got a lot going on. Got Tough Talk coming. Well, we have UFC tonight on Wednesday. Tough Talk, and I don't know if people saw last week. It was fun. We had Connor and Uriah on, and they went at it, and it was hilarious. Those guys are actually great together. I've seen the next episode of the show. Let's just say Connor goes a little bit bananas.
Really? He does?
Dude.
Like pissed off.
Bananas.
And like legitimately pissed off.
Legitimately.
Interesting.
Legitimately.
Against a fighter?
I can't say. Legitimately freaks out.
Loses his mind.
Like freaks out. Like freaks out.
Okay, see, that was a good pitch.
Yeah.
That was a good
pitch. When you're watching, you're like, oh no, it just got even worse. Like, oh my God.
Like, so maybe he pulls a knife?
I can't say. I will say this. The benefit of working with the people at Fox is I get the unbleeped version. Let's just say the censor's going to be real busy this week.
Let's just say if you're Norwegian, you don't want to listen to too much of what Connor's saying.
Yeah, real fun. So that'll be fun. It's a fun episode. Then, like I said, Friday, Saturday, doing the weigh-ins and the fight night stuff for UFC Japan. So that'll be good. I'm excited about that. What?
So I have a little star fucking. I don't want to. Well, you got to mention all the names, so I thought
go ahead. Star F away, Pete.
So my kid's soccer team got crushed by Ziggy Marley's soccer team. That's it.
Okay,
That's
so
all I
your
got.
star up for stories about a man.
My star ever story is that Bob Marley's son's son thoroughly dismantled my son's soccer team. Woo! I'm nearly famous, Karyn.
What?
Pay up, Harvard. Pay up. Pay up.
His son's, it's not his grandson.
It's Bob Marley's grandson. So Ziggy Marley is
just his
coaching. No, Ziggy Marley's his son. So Bob Marley's son's son.
Oh, kicked your butt. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Ziggy's his son. Yeah. Okay, I see. So a couple generations of the most peaceful man on earth kicked your guys.
So I had fun listening to a little Bob Marley on Sunday going, wow, who would ever thought that your grandson would be playing against my son
One bright day.
in soccer?
One bright day, baby.
There you go.
So what do you do? Did you show up and...
Oh my God, can I get a selfie? No, I totally cool. I'm like, whatever.
I met him years and years ago. He's cool.
He looks like just what you'd imagine. He's got dreadlocks down to his waist and just a giant smile on his face and just looks so peaceful and so happy that at one point I kind of got angry at Charlie and I was like, come on, man! Come on, Charlie, you want it! You know, and then I look over at I'm like, it doesn't really matter, Charlie. It's peace and love, buddy, okay?
Do you want to borrow this shirt the next time you play him? It's like a unisex tank top. You get your guns out. Sun's out, guns out. You can show up and... What's up, Ziggy?
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, that's the Team Alpha Male motto. I didn't make that up. That's
Sun's out, guns out?
That's Uriah and Joseph and all those guys. Sun's out, guns out. They're like they're no shirt nation. They
I think I have to first get guns. Where do I get this? Is there a gun store?
It's called LA Fitness, dude. Look into it. I should talk though. I need to get going too. So anyway, I'm going to see the Foo Fighters tonight.
I do have the wart though.
Such a lucky woman you have at home. I did. I threw up a little.
You got a little throw up in your mouth?
I did. Yeah, we're going to the Foo Fighters tonight. This will be fun. Big night out. Yeah, like how awesome is that? So,
my big thing is that Ziggy Marley beat my son's team.
That's okay. That's okay, Pete. Where can people find you on social media?
In a dark, lonely corner, all by myself, trying pathetically to squeeze money out of my alma mater. Mind Noogie. I think I got like 207 followers now.
Sweet.
I am getting pretty close to hosting my own tailgate party.
So, on Twitter, you can find me at Karyn Bryant. You can also find a lot of our interviews. The one with Gegard on youtube.com/Karyn Bryant, or just over on our MMA Heat Facebook page. You can follow me also on Instagram at KB Heat. And yeah, good times.
And remember, if you want the best in old cow crap, Black Cow Mature Manure.
See you next time.
See, somebody should pay me to say that. These guys are really going to go and buy some of it now. So, see ya.